Statistic final project video. So for my experiment, I wanted to find out basically the high school workforce. So what's the correlation between high school gender and the amount of jobs someone has, and what's the correlation between high school grade, or kind of like their age, and the amount of jobs someone has. And the amount of jobs also includes whether or not they even have a job, because 0 was included in one of the options. So the design of my survey and how I took my sample was that I took all the teachers with the third block and I put them in a hat, and then I randomly chose 10. And those 10 were emailed, and they were basically emailed the survey. They were emailed that they were randomly selected and that I would like to come survey their class. And 5 responded, and I went to their class and took the survey the following day. And the 5 that responded were Kane, Benson, Thomas, Racy, and House. So those are my 5 that were simply random chosen. So, basically my survey was, there was a couple questions. It was, what's your gender, what's your age, or your grade, what's your grade in high school, and then do you have a job, and if you have a job, how many do you have, and the options were 1, 2, 3, and more than 3. And then there was a bunch of questions about when did you get your first job, what do you do for extra money if you don't have a job, and those were kind of just space fill. When doing my tests, I used the chi-square method, and basically I said jobs 0, 1, 2, 3, and more than 3, and then my first one was males versus females. So I took all the females that I surveyed, their jobs, and then all the males that I surveyed and their jobs. And I found that there really just wasn't a correlation there. Males and females didn't really dictate whether or not you had a job and how many jobs you had. But just to go further into depth and try to figure out if there was a correlation, I did it within each grade. So freshman, I did it, and there wasn't a correlation. Although it did go down a little bit, there just still wasn't one. And there was also the option of 0 jobs or 1 job within the freshman class, so it really wasn't a lot of data there. Sophomore, there wasn't a correlation either. Juniors, I couldn't do anything with their data because there was only 1 male and 1 female surveyed that were actually within the junior class, so I couldn't do much with their data at all, really. And then the seniors, there wasn't really a correlation either, although they did fall into every single category someone fell in. But I did do their classes, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, and the amount of jobs they had, just to find the correlation between those two. And there was a correlation. It's 0.0274. So since that is smaller than 0.05, there is a correlation there, and I thought that was very interesting. It kind of tells you that age does have to do something with whether you have a job or not, and how many jobs you do have. So in conclusion, the null hypothesis is rejected for a correlation between males and females or gender and the amount of jobs that one has. But the null hypothesis is failed to be rejected for a correlation between the grade in high school and the amount of jobs they have. So basically between the grade in high school they are and between kind of the age they are. Since basically everyone in the freshman class is a certain age, everyone within the sophomore, the junior, and the senior all fall in that 3-year period kind of how old they are. So there is a correlation between the high school grades and jobs, but not between gender and jobs. And then, like I said earlier, it's kind of that age correlation. And this could be for various reasons. there is that law that you have to be a certain age to get a job. You know, they have cars, they have more time, they need the extra money, like they're saving up for college. Stuff like that could have to do with whether or not they get a job and how many jobs they have. Maybe they have to help out with the family, or pay for certain things. So it really just depends. But that was kind of my sample in a 5-minute video.